Hello, everybody, and welcome back to One Leeds Fan Channel. And we are here with your opposition preview. Obviously, we had Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV last week, which I know a lot of you guys liked. It was a really informative one. And we've got another one. Leeds face Everton, a really tough task this weekend. For me, Everton, brilliant club, and I'm sure you'll all agree. I see them as that staple, really, with Leeds and Villa, just maybe in terms of size of clubs, traditional clubs, cracking club, and we've got a guest in today. We've got Mike from the Blue Boys Network. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, mate, all good. How are you? I'll tell you what was impressive as well, getting Robbie on. I mean, that's a hell of a feat, that is. I mean, fair play to you. Well done, you. Jesus.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. What I should say here is he messaged me and, get the clout from that, but it just didn't happen that way, mate.
No, honest to God, it's a difficult one, but fair play to you, fair play. It's going to be a hell of a game the weekend, and
it is, mate. It is, mate, isn't it? And I think it's everybody get your comments in as well. There might be Blues on here as well. To be fair, I need to say Everton because when I say Blues all the time, I always think of Birmingham just because we've been in that dreaded league for so long.
Yeah.
So it's Everton.
Doesn't help with my accent, does it? Really?
I was gonna say, mate, yeah. But yeah, I think it's good. Get your comments in as well, guys. I think it's going to be a really interesting one. This, but. Michael, your overriding thoughts so far on Everton's start to the season, mate?
It's like a mixed bag, isn't it? First 5 games, it completely got to our heads, I think. Well, a lot of Everton fans. I was a bit more realistic, but you'll see in the watch-alongs and things, I was sitting there going, oh, we're going to win the league, going to win the cups, going to win the Champions League, all of this rubbish. But you all know you're not going to. But yeah. I think the facts of we started the season so well. We were playing fluid football, scoring goals. Went to Spurs. We're the only team to beat Spurs this season. And
impressive that, yeah.
Yeah. And we started off really well. Then all of a sudden we lost Richarlison in the Liverpool game. And although we managed to limp over the line, luckily, and get a point against Liverpool at home, we went to Southampton the week after and we were awful. We went to Newcastle the week after that and we were awful. And then after that, we lose to Man United at home. And it was a bit, when you think all that hard work that you put in at the first 5 games of the season, we've completely bottled it. And that's sort of the overriding feeling. Then we go to Fulham last week and we managed to get a 3-2 win. But again, we make it difficult for ourselves. And we go up against the Leeds side at Goodison Park, 5:30. And this Leeds side score goals. They score goals. They're aggressive. They're quick. And as an Everton fan, defensively this season's been our weak point. We've conceded 2 goals in every game, bar Spurs and Palace. So it's a game that I'm expecting lots of goals. And for any of the Leeds fans here, not that I'm plugging the channel at all, but after this, I have got my match preview at 7:30, and you should come over and watch how much I'm shitting myself on it because this game's going to be, there's going to be goals. There's going to be goals. Everton have conceded 16 this season. Leeds have conceded 17 this season in 9 games. There's going to be goals. Dominic CalvertLewin's on fire. You've got Jack Harrison cutting in from the left. You've got Patrick Bamford who's scoring goals. It's going to be really dangerous.
Yeah, you've done your research as well. I like that, mate. But it's been a bit of a weird one with Everton, obviously, with sort of 4 straight wins, and everyone was turning around and thinking, here we go with Everton. Is this going to be the season where I don't know, maybe they sort of break the top 4 or something of that ilk? I mean, such quality going forward. Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, James Rodriguez, who was brought in, of course. And then it's sort of faltered the last 4 games, hasn't it? And against Fulham, I mean, I was watching it, Michael, and that second half, the first half, you were brilliant. But the second half, it showed a lot of weaknesses for me when I was watching it. I don't know if you sort of share that sort of opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that our left-hand side is massively exposed because, when, for example, I'm guessing Jack Harrison plays on the left for you, doesn't he? Yeah, so you're going to have Jack Harrison up against either a centre-back, Iwobi, or an unfit Coleman or John Joe Kenny, which none of them are any good. Then on the other side of the pitch, we've got an injured Luca Dean who won't play. Now, don't get me wrong, and you guys won't necessarily know this, but we've got a young lad called Niels Unkonka. And
yeah, he looks quite good, doesn't he?
He's absolutely phenomenal. Like,
really?
In raw technical ability, he's better. Like, he's a lad who can carry the ball, will beat people. He's got pace. He reminds me very much of a young Bale that got on the ball. And, yeah, honestly, and I'm not just saying that, but equally, he's got a very difficult job because he's got to get in front of Luca Dean. Now, this is his opportunity. This is where he can make a name for himself, or he can flop. Leeds are a perfect test for that because they are quick, they are aggressive. And you also saw the weakness that we have in between midfield and defence, because you saw Fulham play balls through the middle of the park. You saw, their goal, for example, Doucouré's not close enough to his man. Allen hasn't moved across. We get hurt. They score that goal, and they do it time and time again in the second half. So we're going to struggle against how quick and aggressive and tactical Bielsa is. It's going to be a hell of a game, irrespective of the players on the pitch, watching Ancelotti against Bielsa. That's really looking forward to just seeing how they tactically try and outwit each other.
Well, with talking tactically, what Leeds like to deploy is, as you'll know, Michael, it's the man marking system. Now, for me, it's when I watched you at the weekend, it seemed like Fulham started getting a lot of joy in overturning the ball when they pressed you high.
That's it.
And it did seem, obviously, Mina and Keane, we know, are not the most comfortable on the ball, but it did seem as well that maybe the midfield got a little bit tired. Are you sort of a little bit worried that, obviously, with Leeds' press and sort of, as you alluded to, the aggression, can we sort of overturn the ball and get a lot of success there?
That's where you're going to hurt us. And to be fair, again, I say that in the preview, because when you get that and you get us on the turn, and say, for example, Everton play at home. Everton are going to want to get the ball. They're going to want to dominate midfield. They're going to want to push you up the pitch. So you're having to camp in your 18-yard box, your 25-yard mark. When Everton lose that ball, it's going to be the sheer pace that's going to hurt us. Ayling very quick out the blocks. Harrison very quick out the box. Bamford is proving he is a Premier League striker who will make the correct movements. If Keane and Mina are not even remotely at the races, Everton will get picked off time and time and time again. And that's exactly the same tactic Manchester United did against us, and it worked. They won 3-1. So this is a game that, as much as Everton, in my opinion, are probably favourites, just because of that experience, just because they've been a Premier League side for however long. They've got Dominic CalvertLewin up front with Richarlison, who has been creating and scoring goals all season. There's absolutely no way Everton should lie down for this game, because if there's any team that I'm worried about playing most at this moment in time, it's Leeds.
How do you think he'll set up? Do you think he'll set up with sort of 5 at the back? Obviously, the 3-4-3, I know you like to do, but obviously you've used the 4-3-3 as well this season. Is it a case of him sort of, when you go defensive, he's going to go to 5 at the back, or do you think he's actually going to maybe come out at home, Ancelotti, and think, no, actually, we're going to go and play. We're at home, we're the favourites, and this is just a newly promoted team. How do you think he's going to sort of tactically approach it?
I think he's going to play 3-5-2. So I think he'll have Godfrey, Mina, and Keane in the back. Maybe Holgate will come back in. He'll have Niels and Conker on the left. He'll have Iwobi playing on the right as a wing back, which is always going to be a weakness because Iwobi's not a footballer. You'll have Alan, Doucouré, and Rodriguez just sitting in front with Richarlison. And in the transition in attack, it'll be a 4-2-4, and one of the wing backs will overlap. And in defence, it'll be a 5-4-1. And you'll see the general style of play will be 3-5-2. So if both teams are sort of happy playing football and not being overly aggressive, it'll be that formation. And depending on how the game's going, you'll see Everton adjust in the game. You will physically see players moving around. That's the way that Ancelotti. You'll see Richarlison popping up in the middle of the park. In the middle of the pitch in the centre circle, carrying the ball. You'll see Dominic CalvertLewin coming deep and Richarlison playing off him. But you'll also see at times both of our strikers, Richarlison and Dominic CalvertLewin, making that run into the box. James sitting back, playing that ball over to Niels and Konku, or whoever plays at right back, which will be Iwobi probably, and delivering that ball. And that's where Everton have had success this season. They've been able to play the ball into Digne. Digne has then crossed the ball quickly. And depending on who's gone to the front post, we've scored lots of goals. You know, Dominic CalvertLewin scored 10, for example. So that's where we've got our goals and our press. But the facts are, if Leeds turn us over, all of our players are up the pitch. And that's what I'm worried about. That's why Carlo's going to set up for this game. And I really do believe he's going to settle with the middle two of our team, Alan and Decore, sitting quite deep. Because if they go forward, you'll overexpose us and kill us every time you go forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sort of questions that Leeds have been leaky at the back as well. I mean, I would sort of counter that a little bit with the two games. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Mike, the Palace game still really knocks me off because that shouldn't have happened. The Leicester game, you take it a bit with Leicester, don't you? But I think in those two games, we had a bit of a championship outfit out in terms of personnel. Now, obviously, Calvin Phillips is back, and we've got Rodrigo. You know, Rafinha, the summer signing is there and thereabouts, and the depth is getting back there, but. We are susceptible at the back, and this is a continuous theme with Leeds United. Are you sort of looking at our weaknesses in terms of, I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I don't think I've seen anybody jump as high as him since Michael Jordan. It's quite unbelievable. I mean, how do you stop him, and how do you stop the supply to him, Michael? Is what I'm asking you. Well,
you stop the supply to him. I'm just double checking because you might have spies outside. You know what the house is like, the way that you stop him is you stop the supply into our wingers. So if you stop the ball going to Luca Dean, obviously he's injured, so that bit's done. But if you stop the ball going into Niels and Konku, or Rodriguez, or Iwobi, who'll probably play on the right, Everton won't score. It is as simple as that. Everton will not score. If you stop one of those players delivering the ball, there is absolutely nobody else who will create, because we haven't got that ball carrying skillful midfielder that we used to have. Richarlison, as good as Richarlison is, he's incredibly direct, which means at times you can read him. Now, Everton with Richarlison in the team is a million times better because we press from the front. But if you get Richarlison out of the game, Everton fall apart. So the way that you genuinely beat Everton or stop us scoring is simply stopping the midfield passing the ball to the overrunning wingers, Richarlison or James Rodriguez. And if you sit on those men, which you probably will do because you man mark, Everton won't score.
Yeah, and I think Digne is the big one, isn't it? It is the big one. Is that sort of the one outlying player who's, from a defensive point of view, is he the one player who you sort of thinking to yourself? I mean, is it with Nkunku? Has he been? What's he like defensively? Is he astute defensively, or is Digne sort of the whole package that you're going to miss at the weekend?
Digne is not a great defender. If there's any Everton fans in here that absolutely shoot me for that, but the facts are he's not a great defender. He's not physically strong enough or quick enough when he gets turned. The goal that Fulham score, the second goal they score, is because he gets turned. Everton look weak both sides of the pitch, right and left, but losing Digne going forward in his delivery, that will hurt Everton. The counter to that is I think Nkunku is actually a better defender.
Right.
If you was to sit here and say to me who's got the more talent, I'd say Nkunku than Dean. And I love Luca Dean. I'm not, I absolutely love him, but you will see Everton will be much more difficult to break down on the left-hand side because Nkunku is just, he battles for everything here. He won't get beat on the turn because he's too quick. He's too physically strong. You can't push him off the ball. Whereas with Luca Dean, you can do both of those things. But there's no doubt Luca Dean going forward has got the brain that could unlock the complete side of that pitch. You know, the link-up play with Richarlison can hurt anyone. So he is a massive blow, but defensively, I don't think it's a particularly big blow. Everton have been poor at the back anyway, with Dean in the side. So it makes very little difference, to be honest, whether he plays defensively or not. Attacking-wise, yeah, because we're putting in a young kid who's only played one Premier League game, and as much as I can blow smoke up his arse, he might have a stinker and might not be up for the occasion. It's going to be a tough game for Everton. There's no getting around it. I actually say in my prediction later, I actually say this game could be 4-3 either way.
Yeah,
honestly, there's going to be goals.
Yeah, I think there was a game in '99, wasn't there? I think Kevin Campbell scored. I think it was 4-4 at Goodison. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of your results here: 5-2, 5-2, 3-2. And obviously, we've seen it with Leeds. You know, 4-3, 4-3. It is going to be. I mean, I guess. Do you see yourself taking advantage of Leeds on set pieces?
Again, that depends, because now Everton have got height, but so have Leeds. What Leeds maybe aren't necessarily used to is someone with the quality of Dominic CalvertLewin in the air, maybe, because he has proven this season that, I'm not going to say he's world class, because, you know, it's not right to say that yet, but he's definitely got ability in the air.
But what it is, Mike, is you talk about players who can win battles in the air. We talk about those players week in, week out, but players who are actually gifted in the air, it's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, one of his strengths has always been in the air. You know, when he wasn't very good, you know, before the start of last season, I was saying, loaning back to Sheffield United, I'm done with him. I'm finished. You know, he's 21 years old. He's played for Everton now for 3 years. He's crap. Get rid of him. He proved us all wrong.
Yeah. Sounds a bit like Bamford with us.
Yeah, exactly. Although, to be fair to Bamford, I'm pretty sure he scored 20-odd goals in the Championship as well.
Not far off, mate. Not far off.
Yeah. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the best he'd scored before last season was 6 or 7 goals. You know, he wasn't proving anything. He come in last season, he scores 15 goals, and we all think, well, he's had a great purple patch before January. We go into lockdown. After, he's awful. Comes into this season like an absolute train. And to be honest, if you put the ball in the box, he will score. If you put the ball on his head, he will score. And that's what Leeds have got to be wary of. But it's not like you've got 2 short centre-backs. You've got 2 big, strong lads. You've got a good goalkeeper in who's fairly commanding. If you could stop the ball getting to his head, then again, you're stopping Everton's supply, which again will hurt us massively.
And are there any sort of secondary players that we need to sort of worry about in terms of, you know, I mean, is the likes of Sigurdsson, is he going to play Sigurdsson, or is it what sort of midfield structure we're looking at? Is it just Decore, Allen, and I would presume James is going to push a little bit further forward.
Yeah, I'm categorically telling you, if Gylfi Sigurdsson plays, you've got absolutely nothing to worry. If anything, we've got something to worry about. Andre Gomez has been poor, so you haven't got to worry about him. The players you've got to worry about is Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Rodriguez. I've seen a few of the people in the comments saying that Richarlison's overrated, and I can understand why people on the outside think that. But when you watch him on Saturday, you'll see what he does for Everton, and it's his work rate. He is an incredibly gifted footballer at the very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
SHIT house as well, I think.
Yeah, which again is a bit of a snide, which, you know, not being funny, that, I mean, as long as he doesn't do what Pepe did the weekend before, we'll be all right.
But do you know what, Mike? That's a big strand to his game. I mean, I personally, you know, as you say, I can understand people saying that, but I think he's an incredibly gifted player. I think technically he's one of the top players in the Premier League. I think he's that good. And like you said, there's no, you know, you look how much Everton come on and sort of lessen when he's off the pitch, on and off the pitch. It's 2 different sides.
This season says it for you. You know, 5 games with him in the team, we get 13 points. 3 games without him in the team, we get 0.
Yeah. It is.
You know what I mean?
And I think he moves you as well from that midfield transition into the attacking transition very well, doesn't he?
Exactly. Yeah, he carries the ball for us. He picks it up deep and he'll run, and that's what we need.
Definitely. Well, mate, I think that's probably it, really. I mean, if you you'll have done it on your channel as well, and we'll plug your channel in just a second. But what are your predictions, if you wouldn't mind saying it on this stream?
What did I predict on my channel? I think I can't remember what I predicted. I think I've predicted 3-2, but genuinely, if you lot get a player sent off, for example, I could see Everton scoring 4 or 5.
Like a West Brom sort of thing,
yeah,
wasn't it?
But I could see it the other way around as well. I could see if Everton got players sent off, you lot would score a lot of goals. It's going to be one of them games that I actually don't think it matters who scores first. This is the one game of the season. Doesn't matter because both teams are going to score. If you want a sure bet, both teams to score first half, guaranteed.
I don't even think you get evens on that with Leeds anymore, mate, to be honest.
Nor Everton.
But yeah, I think it's. Do you know what, Mike? I am listening to Everton fans. It is making me more and more confident. And as I was telling you off air, that I've listened to a couple of Everton podcasts now, and they're in the same sort of mindset as you. I do think we can hurt you. And that is a good thing. But I also think, the opposite. You've got an insane front three. You've got talented boys in that side. But I do sometimes think Everton are carrying a little bit of dead wood. I don't know if you'd sort of agree with that. Yeah. Yeah,
we are 100%. If you look throughout the entire Everton team, there's players that you just, and this isn't, although this is Carlo's team, it's not 100% his team yet. We still have a Jordan Pickford in goal who's shit. Keane and Mina are very slow on the turn. I'd like a new centre back. At least one centre back, and we signed one in the summer as well. So, yeah, there's loads of deadwood, and Leeds should go there with confidence.
But what I will say, mate, is Ted makes a good point here. Leeds have shown no strategy from corner kicks, make short corners, and no threat to score when it comes in. Look totally unorganised. I mean, to an extent, I think. But you look at the teams that we faced. Man City, we only conceded a goal. Wolves, we conceded a goal. We had 2 outliers, really. And then we had 3 clean sheets as well, including Arsenal. So it's not been overridingly bad on the defensive standpoint. We've just had these daft games where they've all just gone in, and this is probably going to be another game like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it could, it could be a game where if you aren't good at corners, that's going to help Everton, because I'm telling you now that if this game's going to be 4-3, you'll score from a corner. If the ball gets delivered into the box, there's a chance you'll score. And that's how weak Everton have been defensively. That's how scared Everton are defensively. But equally, in the final third, Everton will hurt any team in the country. We will. But Leeds have got an opportunity. They've got an Everton side that's confidence isn't flying, but equally, we know we are a good side on our day. And they go to Goodison and they'll give it a good game. They'll come at us. And if they come at us, as you rightly say, on the turn, you'll hurt us.
Yeah, and Mick sort of says it's a game we can win, match on together. And I think it is. I think, as Nipper says here as well, it's going to be a hell of a battle. And I think we all know that, don't we? I think it is. It is, mate. And I tell you what, guys, get your score predictions in. I'm going to go with a 3-2 Leeds win.
It's positive.
I'm going to reverse it. But yeah, mate, where can everybody find you anyway? And there's some Leeds content as well, Michael.
Yeah. I mean, so the Blue Boys Network on YouTube, you will find us. We're slightly smaller than you, but we're trying. 7,200 subs.
Doesn't matter,
so
mate.
come over
content that counts.
Yeah, that's it. So come over and subscribe to us. We do podcasts, we do match previews, match reactions, and we do a watch along. But I'm assuming you're doing a watch along, so I'm not going to say that to any of you guys that are watching. So scrap that I said that. But yeah, just come over, subscribe to me. Really appreciate it. And look, I have absolutely nothing against Leeds. As you rightly said earlier, before we come on air, my friend who works on this channel, he said, hates Leeds, got legged there a few years ago, blah, 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 blah. I predict that Leeds will finish about 10th or 11th this season. There's a lot worse teams than Leeds. Leeds will score a lot of goals, and you should be incredibly proud of what you've done coming up. and playing the way you have, because going to Anfield, scoring 3 goals, as you said, against Man City, unlucky, Wolves, unlucky. Leeds are going to have a good season this season.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, mate. I think you've at least gained maybe 20 subscribers there, so well done on that little promo. You might lose another 10 with your mate though. That's you're gonna have to tone him down.
You're joking. Honest to God, you should see him. Obviously, if any of you guys are free, I did a highlights clip of our watch along last week. Just watch for 2 or 3 minutes of that, because he's an idiot in the nicest possible way. He's an idiot.
Oh, we all are, mate. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have just joined, I know there's a fair few of you who have just joined. You can always go back and watch this entire stream all the way from the start again. So make sure you go do that. Mike, thanks for joining, mate. And I'll see you in a bit, guys.
Yeah, see you soon.